Hey everybody, it's me again, Moody Boo, the Fragrant Nomad. I'm back with another single review. I'm going to be doing a lot of these kind of reviews. I kind of touched upon it on my last one. I did more than touch upon it. I talked about it quite a bit. You did not. It was really just a briefing, just a catch up, an update at best. No, I kind of rattled on and on. I'm just saying. But it's something I do. People know that. I don't know if they keep watching me or maybe they skip ahead. Maybe they don't care. Either way, I talk too much. We all know. Just go on with the review, will you please? Anyway, so I'm out in my car because I'm recording on a weekend. I didn't want to boot my husband out of the living room. He works hard too. So I decided to come out in my car and record a couple of single perfume reviews. I'm way behind. I'm working a lot, guys. I apologize so much and appreciate your patience. It's just amazing to me that anybody watches anything anymore of mine. Anyway, today, he did it again. Pete did it again from CENTAURI Perfumes, and this is one of his new releases, ANTHEIA. Now I have a white bottle. See, I have a blue bottle. I need a red bottle too to complete my series, because that's all the colors he has right now is white, red, and blue. I'm hoping, I know I keep saying this every time I talk about one of his perfumes, but I want him to do an amber. I want him to do a yellow bottle or a gold bottle or an amber colored bottle and do an amber perfume. That's what I want. Do you hear me? That's what I want. That's my vote. That's been my vote for a long time. So anyway, this one, ANTHEIA, I bought blind. I knew I'd love it, and I do. And it surprised me when I saw the notes as opposed to what I smell, because to me it's very bright, it's green, it's a little vegetal. It's a bit earthy, it's a bit sweet, it has a bit of tang to it, tartness, just a hint. It almost smells like there's a little bit of tomato leaf in there, if you know what that smells like. And actually, I just got a really big blast of it because I was out back where our tomato plants are, and I was kind of plucking some of the stuff off, and one of the branches kind of broke in my hand and just burst with some juice from the stem. And oh my God, it smelled so good. It was such a strong aroma, and it almost smells like it has a hint of that kind of nuance to it. Another lovely one from the House of CENTAURI. So ANTHEIA, this one has quite a bit of ingredients, of notes in it. Is red mandarin, yuzu aldehyde, ginger, apricot, raspberry, pink lotus absolute, orris butter tincture, violet accord, rose absolute. Isn't that one of those notes that he loves to put in a lot of his perfumes? I think that's one of his favorites. Madagascan vanilla absolute, vanillin, non-animal musk, Peru balsam, vetiver, East Indian sandalwood, white ambergris tincture. So there's a lot going on here. But, you know, honestly, it is bright. It's a bit floral, but it's almost an aquatic kind of floral. It's not an intense, like the rose is a bit watery, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of, but then he masterfully supports it and surrounds it with other notes that not only emphasize its aquaticness, but they add a bunch of things, a bunch of fruit and a bunch of greenness to the pool. And so it's just this, it's very niche to me in a lot of ways. And then in other ways, it's it could be really universally loved. It's a very versatile perfume, I think. And I think for the House of Centauri, that's never been his goal. I think he wants to make things that speak to him personally, and he hopes speaks to everybody else. So I don't ever think it's his goal to make any kind of a mainstream or universally loved perfume. You know, I'm putting words and thoughts in his head and his mouth. I have no frickin' idea. That's just from watching his videos. That's just the impression that I get when he gets in front of his cauldron and starts concocting his potions. And that's just the impression I get. He wants something interesting that tells a story. And he did it. It's very, very, like I said, vegetal, green, little fruity floral hint of that, but not the drugstore kind of fruity floral, but the actual real, what you would smell in an orchard or in a garden kind of fruity floral. And the sweetest this perfume is, in my opinion, is at the top. And that's, well, the most intense the sweetness is at the top, in my opinion. That's also where the tartness that's there is also the most intense, is at the top. Its trajectory is subtle and slow, but it's there. Once you get to that dry down and some of the Peru balsam and the sandalwood, they come in and they almost pull down the sweetness, and they almost take out that tartness altogether. They smooth out all the edges, and they make the sweetness warmer and more rounded and fuller than it is at the top, because it's intense at the top. Not real sweet, because of that tartness kind of counterbalances it. But it's like it just takes the tartness away, and it pulls down the sweetness a bit and spreads it out and makes it fuller and warmer. And then the earthiness comes out more in the base. The greenness is still there, but it does lighten up, because I think it's what I'm picturing as the greenness is what's giving it some of the tartness at the top. And so it just becomes this, it's lovely. This slightly sweet, just a hint left of tartness, green, earthy, like I said, a little bit vegetal, natural kind of smelling perfume. It has so much realism to it. It's almost, if this was, wall art, this would be more like a photograph as opposed to a Van Gogh or a Monet interpreting a green vegetal garden with flowers and some fruits and some trees and things like that in it. This is more photographic as opposed to interpretation, I think. Wow. And the more I smell it, the more I adore it. Performance is pretty good for me on this. I would say easily 7 hours. It projects pretty well the first couple hours, but it does come a little closer, like elbow's length, for the rest of the wearing. It does leave a slight sillage, not a big one, except for at the very first hour you can leave some pretty good sillage. The bottle, are you kidding? Centauri's bottles are some of the best ever out there, and great sprayer. Oh my God, it smells so good. This isn't a gourmand. It's not a real masculine. It's not a feminine perfume. It's very unisex, I think. But this almost lends itself more, I think, to warmer temperatures. I don't think I'm going to be touching this much more after this month. I'll keep wearing it until the weather turns cold, and then I'll put it away until springtime. I'm really excited to see what it does for the springtime. And I think summer it'll do well as well. Wow, that was poorly put together, Boo. Oh yes, I adore this one. I haven't tried the other new one yet. Some of the notes were, I wasn't sure about. I still am interested in buying Gaia. Dendera just hasn't done it for me. I've tried it a few times and it's just not for me. It's not one that really wows me at this point, but it might be a really slow burn. Who knows? He doesn't set prices the same for every perfume. It depends on how much the notes cost him, how much it cost him to put together. So, they're within like $50, I think, of each other. But I think this one is a little more than some of the other ones. I'm not sure, but it seemed like it was. So, yep, he did again. It's a beauty. I hope that he puts some more out. An amber perfume. And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and comment if you want. If you don't, it's all good. I still love you. And use your own nose. Peace.